Hello, my loves. I feel like spicing up my life today, so I am ranking Spice, the first Spice Girls album. I love the Spice Girls so much. I love all three of their albums, and I am just excited to talk about them. I love this album so much. So I'm gonna be ranking the songs from my personal least favorites to my personal favorites. So this isn't objectively what I think is the worst song to the best song. These are just the ones that I like the most. So starting at number 14 is One of These Girls. This song was a B-side to Two Becomes One, and it's definitely a B-side. Like, it definitely has B-side energy, but the thing is, I still think it is a very strong song. It's a really fun, disco-y moment. It definitely is what you would think of when you think of Spice. Like, it's the more poppy, fun, dancey kind of song. And I love that. It just never totally got there for me. I think it's definitely one of their weaker dance cuts, if that makes sense. Like, it never inspired much in me. I never wanted to go back to it quite as much as the other songs. Now, with that being said, I still think it has a good hook. It has a really cool, funky groove to it, and it's still a really fun song. I just simply don't like it as much as the other songs. But I still think if you never heard it, you should definitely seek it out. It is like a really fun Spice Girls song. Like, this is a very quintessential sounding Spice Girls song. When people think of this group, this is the kind of song that they would think of, and I do love it for that. Number 13 is Baby Come Round. Baby Come Round was a B-side to Mama slash Who Do You Think You Are, I believe, and it's, again, definitely a B-side. I still really like it. This one is more of a smooth R&B kind of track, and that's like all over this album. I think this album is definitely more R&B than people might think it is, but Baby Come Round leans more heavily into that side, and I do really like it for that. I think it's a nice, chill track, but I also kind of feel like it sounds like elevator music, and there's nothing wrong with an elevator music track. I just don't think it necessarily elevates itself, if that makes any sense. I just don't think it's the most special song, but it's still a good cut. Again, this is one I recommend seeking out because it is a little bit more rare. I know that Spice Girls fans definitely know about it, but it definitely is one of the lesser known tracks, and it's still worth listening to. I think they sound really good in the chorus together. They have like those really nice harmonies together, and it's just a good sounding track. It's one that you could throw on easily to kind of chill out and vibe to, and I do enjoy it for that purpose. Number 12 is Mama. I feel like this is kind of low, which is really sad because the song is so sweet. I adore this song. Again, do not get me wrong, I literally love every song, but Mama, I just don't really listen to quite as much, which is funny because I love a crying song. This is such a crying song. Every time that I listen to this, I am bawling because the lyrics are just so sweet, and the girls sound so incredible together. I love the pre-chorus when they're going, "Back then I didn't know why you were misunderstood, but now I see through your eyes all that you did was love." Like, I am legit tearing up. I am literally tearing up just like thinking about the song, because it is just one of those songs that you put on and it sounds really happy and it sounds really sweet and it's very hallmarky and sentimental, and I love songs like that. I love really cheesy, corny songs, and this is a very good example of that because I don't think it's too cheesy. Like, I don't think that it oversteps into being groan-worthy. I think this is the best example of doing a really sappy song, but making it sound good. And I think that it's helped by the fact that it's about a relatable topic and a universal topic that everybody can relate to and that can easily tug on people's heartstrings. I mean, who can't relate to a cheesy ballad about saying you love your mother? Unless you have a bad relationship with your mother, in that case, I'm sorry. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, God willing, if you have a good relationship with your mother, then the song is a very good one to cry to. I absolutely love this song. I simply cannot listen to it without crying. Number 11 is Bumper to Bumper. Bumper to Bumper was a B-side for Wannabe, and it's one of the weirdest Spice Girls songs. Like, they have a lot of weird songs, and I really think that this is one of the stranger ones, just for the sound of it alone. If you listen to it, I feel like you would get what I mean. It feels like this slinky waiting in traffic song. Like, that's how I would describe it. Like, it's a sexy bop about being in traffic, and obviously there's like a car metaphor, which I usually love in songs, but this one I never really understood. Like, they say, I'll beat my horn for you, bumper to bumper, make way, I'm coming through, bumper to bumper. Like, I don't really understand like what they're going for, but at the same time, you kind of get it. Like, I feel like this is one of those songs where if you give 0.2 seconds worth of thought to, you will just absolutely lose it because it makes no sense. But when you're listening to it, it's like, yeah, give way, I'm coming through, bumper to bumper, like obviously. Like, you just kind of get it when you hear it, and that is the best kind of pop music where it doesn't really make sense, but when you're singing it, then it makes sense. This is a very British song. This is a very Spice Girls sounding song, specifically this era of Spice Girls, because it has that mellow R&B kind of production to it, but it also has these cool little zany moments like the beeping and like the little traffic noises. And then I think that it's Mel B who just screams like bumper to bumper like at one point in it, and it's so funny, but at the same time it's kind of playing it straight, which I really like. I just feel like no other group could really sell a song like this aside from the Spice Girls, because lyrically it's just so silly, but it works because it's them singing it, and you could tell they understand that it makes no sense, but they're having fun with it. And that's what makes the Spice Girls in general so great. Like, they understand that their music is campy and over the top, and this song plays into that, and I think that it's really fun for that. The reason that it's a little lower is just because I think they do the more mellow, groovier tracks a little bit better on some of the other tracks that I'm gonna get to, and I also don't think it's necessarily campy enough to really elevate it past the other songs, so that's why it is a little bit lower. It has always been one of the more middle of the road songs to me, but again, still a really solid one. If you never heard it, I again recommend looking it up because it is really funny. It's just a really, really funny one. You won't get the hook out of your head. You'll be sitting in traffic and you'll be saying, I beat my horn for you, bumper to bumper. I still do that sometimes. It is a traffic bop. Number 10 is Wannabe. Obviously, the most iconic girl group single, like, ever, or at least one of them. This one, I rank at number 10, if only because it's kind of a given. I feel like there's some songs that are just staples that you don't even question existing, and Wannabe is one of them. I feel like Wannabe has existed literally since the beginning of time. I mean, I was born after the song came out, so I don't know a world without Wannabe. So for me, literally there isn't a world without this song. This is just such a quintessential pop song. Everything about it is genuinely brilliant. The hook is so insanely catchy and memorable. That's what it is. It's a very memorable song. There's so many individual parts to it, from the tell me what you really, really want, to that little giggle in the beginning that's so adorable. And of course, Mel B's rap, which is iconic. I remember I used to want to learn that rap, so I would look up the lyrics and I would just like recite it to myself because I wanted to know every single line, and of course I could still recite the entire song, but that part, whenever it comes on, it's just like extra lit, and everything about the song is just lit. Like, the whole song is just so much fun. If you hear the song come on anywhere, I feel like the room changes, the energy in the room changes, because it's one of those euphoric, uniting kind of moments. Everyone knows it. Even if you hate the song, I feel like you still need to have fun with it if it comes on, because it's one of those ones that everyone knows, and regardless of if you like it or not, you just need to submit to it because it's powerful. It just has this powerful energy to it. You cannot fight it. You need to tell these girls what you want. You need to get with their friends if you want to be their lovers. Like, come on. It is just so, so infectious. I have it at number 10 because, if I'm being honest, I don't really consciously choose to listen to this song a lot because I feel like it just comes on naturally. Like, you're just going about your day and you'll hear it at the supermarket, or you'll be at CVS or something and you just hear it. So, like, I never make the conscious decision to listen to it, but when it comes on, am I throwing it in a circle? Yes, absolutely. So, Wannabe is an iconic song. I try to not say iconic too much because I feel like it definitely is overused and I am guilty of that, but if any song deserves to be called iconic, it is Wannabe. Number 9 is Last Time Lover. Last Time Lover is such a great R&B track. This is literally one of the smoothest tracks that they've ever made. That hook is just so mind-melting. When I listen to it, I just like turn into melted butter or something. Like, I feel like I'm just like melting. That's what it sounds like, because their harmonies just come together to make this ultra smooth sound. Like, it sounds like an espresso being brewed, like a very freshly brewed coffee. I'm making no sense. This is just what I get when I hear it, because that is what it gives me. It is just so incredibly chill and relaxing, and one that you could put on and just vibe to. But I think the song itself is also just very interesting, because we think of the Spice Girls as being this hypery, sugary, candy-coated kind of group, and that is not what the song is at all. And a lot of their first album really isn't like that. The deeper cuts really aren't like that. And this one is a really good example because it's very sensual and intimate, and it's more of that kind of spoken, half-sung verses. And then again, you get to that chorus where they just sound absolutely beautiful. And they also have that kind of more adult songwriting in this. Like, first bite, whet my appetite, second helping's always beta. Like, she says beta. I love how she said that at that part. But, it is just a very mature sounding song. And the bridge, oh my god, I think it's, Ginger doing the bridge, where she's like, cool, sexy, ever ready, someone fine, always steady. I love that part. I go off to that part so much. It is just so much fun. It, like, ramps up the song, and it really just brings it to a different level, but it's not like too much where it's out of nowhere and it's like, this is not working with the song. No, it is so perfect. It just goes along so well, and I always look forward to that part. So, Last Time Lover, I am shocked that this was at number 9. If I'm being honest, I genuinely believe everything from 9 to like 3 on my list are interchangeable. I literally feel like any of these songs could be switched around. I feel like Last Time Lover on some days is my number 3. It just happened to be today, it's my number 9. Like, that is how consistently excellent every song from here on out is. I was actually shocked that this was at number 9. When I first listened to the Spice Girls, this was one of the first songs that was like an initial favorite. Like, this one stood out a lot, and I listened to it so much. Like, I think it was 2015 that I got into them. It was 2015, I remember, and I just really played this song out that summer, and that's why I'm kind of shocked that it was lower for me, but that just goes to show you the quality of this album. Number 8 is To Become One. Speaking of really big singles, this was the holiday Christmas single for them. I believe it went number 1. I don't live in the UK, so I don't know the history, sorry, but I think this did go number 1, very deservedly so. This is a beautiful ballad, and I think that it fits Christmas time really well. Like, I think of this song as a Christmas song because it has those really pretty strings and that whole like arrangement, and it just sounds very loving and caring, but also it's like pretty explicitly filthy. Like, it's a pretty like damn explicit song considering the sound of it. Like, it has that very sweet saccharine sound. Meanwhile, they're saying get it on, or like, be a little bit wiser, baby, put it on. I mean, advocating for safe sex, we gotta love that. We got to love that. I just think this song, again, sounds so beautiful, though. Like, it really is, like, poetry. Like, candlelight and soul forever, a dream of me and you together. Like, that's just so beautiful. And what helps it so much is their vocal delivery. They just have this really like angel-like quality. Like they literally sound angelic on this song, especially in the pre-chorus where they're going, "'cause tonight is the night that two become one." The little string or guitar, whatever, in the background during that part, and then the reverb or whatever vocal effect they have on their voices at that part specifically, oh my god, it just sounds so beautiful. I love that pre-chorus so much. It just takes me there. It literally just makes me ascend, and that's what the song just does in general. I really love this song. I always knew about the song, obviously, because it was a single, and I always had a soft spot for it because it just sounded so pretty, and it was definitely a different side to the Spice Girls that added a lot of dimension to them as a group. I think them having the really fun pop singles and then balancing it out with the ballads like this that were a little more mature definitely helped make them more faceted as a group, I guess I would say. And that is what made them so enduring. And To Become One is one of their best ballads. Number 7 is Naked. Naked is, again, one of the best chill-out tracks on this album. It has that really sexy, intimate kind of atmosphere with those spoken verses, and then you get to the harmonies in the chorus. It definitely follows the formula of like Last Time Lover, and I think the song maybe does it a little bit better because I just love the more provocative nature of it, I guess. Like the lyrics, like they're saying, naked, nothing but a smile upon her face. She wants to play seek and hide, no one to hide behind. This child has fallen from grace, like, or don't be afraid to stare, she's only naked. Like, I love that. Like, it's a little bit scandalous, it's a little bit dirty, and they're kind of playing it cool. Like, I think that this is one of the best songs where you could tell that they're singing it with a wink and a nod. Like, they know that they're being kind of cheeky, and they are playing into that, but at the same time, it just works as a track on its own because everything just comes together so well. I just think it's produced so beautifully, and they sound really sexy on it. And the reason that I have it a little bit higher than the other songs is because of the bridge, or like the spoken bridge. I think that it's Emma doing it. I think Emma is doing it. I'm not 100% sure. But it just adds to the intimacy of the song. Like, it's literally this phone call with her, and it's like she's saying, like, I'd rather be hated than pitied, or I guess it ain't such a pretty picture. Maybe I should have left it to your imagination. I just want to be me. There's a vulnerability to that, and I think that adds so much depth to the song. Like, this is a very deeper song, I feel. I feel like you see the title and it's Naked by the Spice Girls. Obviously, it's gonna be this really cheeky kind of song. And yeah, it is, but I do feel like there's more to read into here. Like the beginning verse where I think it's Ginger and she's like, naivety and childlike left behind, deprived of the goodness of mankind, and past encounters have made her strong enough to carry on and on. Like, there's more that you could read into the lyrics. I feel like this is a song about being sexually liberated and wanting to be yourself, but also knowing your boundaries and learning how to respect yourself. And I think that that is a very good message. That's a very powerful, deep message for the Spice Girls. Like, again, I feel like people don't give the Spice Girls enough credit for having some genuinely good songwriting. I think this song has a lot that you could read into, and that's what makes it very enduring. I think that this is one of the most thought-provoking songs that they have. As weird as that sounds, I genuinely think that. Even though it seems like it could have been an easy shock factor kind of song, they didn't really go that route, and I gotta respect them for that. I have to respect them for that. They could have made a sex bop, but this is kind of a sex bop, but like not in the way that you would think. And the song just sounds so exquisite. Like, that's how I would describe it. It's just a very exquisite, rich sounding song. Like, I feel like I should be eating caviar when I'm listening to it. I don't know. It just sounds rich. Like, if you listen to it, if you know it, I feel like you might get it. And I just love the guitar that's going throughout it. It's just very simple, but very catchy and very well done. It's a very memorable song, and one that will stick in your head slowly over time. I feel like this is definitely a grower of this album. And that's kind of how it was with me. I loved it when I first listened to it, but I just kind of noticed myself going back to it more and more than a lot of the other songs. And at one point, I was just like, wow, I didn't know I listened to this song that much. And that's because it is a little bit of an earworm, but in an unexpected way. Like, it kind of lodges itself into your brain without knowing. So that is why I love Naked. Naked is such a well done song. Number 6 is Something Kind of Funny. Again, with the smooth R&B chill out tracks. This song is literally so chill, and I rank it pretty high up because I always had this hook in my head. When I tell you, when I was first like getting into the Spice Girls and I first listened to this album, I could not stop singing this hook specifically. And another hook that I'll get to later, but this song is just, again, so mellow, and I love listening to it when I just want something to throw on, and it's easy to listen to, but also one that will, again, lodge itself in your brain. And I really love how they sound on it. I think there's cute little individual moments that they each get that really makes it shine. Like, I love when Sporty, I think it's Sporty at the end of the second verse, when she's like, play my game or get left behind, and she like hits that little high note. Like, it's the little simple moments in the song that really add up, and I feel like this song specifically has a lot of that, mostly due to the kind of coy delivery that they have on it. I feel like there is this kind of like knowing playfulness to the song where they're not being over the top or anything, but they are playing up the idea of them just being in this weird relationship. Like they say, rules are for fools, and fool's paradise is hard to find. Like, they are clearly not in a traditional relationship, and they're just kind of having fun with it. I love that about this song. I think there's like this undertone of we're doing something scandalous, but who cares to it that I really enjoy. And maybe I'm just reading too deep into the lyrics, because honestly, this ain't the deepest song. I just rank it really high because, again, I could not get this hook specifically out of my head. I don't even know why. It's not necessarily the catchiest one, but it's one that simply soothes my mind. Like, I literally will just, like, hear this if I have, like, a headache or something, and it just literally tones it down. Like, it's like an Advil or something. Like, you have to listen to it, and suddenly you're in a zen state. That is what I love so much about this song. It just puts me in a very peaceful place. That made it sound like I died or something. It puts me in a mellow place. That is what I will say. Number 5 is Say You'll Be There. This was originally at number 2, and this is what I'm saying. Like, literally any of these songs could be switched around at any time. And, like, I'm not even kidding, right now, off the cuff, I just made the decision to make this number 5 because I like the other songs a little bit better as of right now. But Say You'll Be There was always one of my favorite Spice Girls singles, and one of my favorite, like, songs in general, like, from way back when I was first, like, getting into music, like, literally just music in general, when I was in, like, middle school. This was one of my favorite throwback songs, along with Come On Over Baby by Christina Aguilera. I just love Say You'll Be There so, so much. It is such a perfect pop song. It really, really is a perfect pop song. You have that killer hook that you will never get out of your head. You have that great pre-chorus with, I think it's Posh singing it, where she's like, but any fool could see they're falling, gotta make you understand. You have that really fun moment at the end where they're like, I'll give you everything on this, I swear, just promise you'll always be there, where they're all like shouting it, and it's just such a fun part to sing along with. Everything about this song just works. I just think this is such a well-crafted pop song, and it's a really good blend of the sound of this era, because I do think that it isn't the most over-the-top, like, wicked, poppy sounding kind of song, because there is sort of this R&B influence in its production, and I think it meets perfectly in the middle of being a pop R&B song, and I love that. I think it just sounds really cool, like, whatever that little synthy instrument is, I don't know what the name for it is, but I just love it so, so much. Like, it just gives the song such a character, and it really gives the backbone to it. I think that having that little synthy instrument going throughout the whole thing along with the personalities of all the girls shining through, it just makes this song like so quintessentially Spice Girls. Obviously, it's one of their biggest, most well-known songs, so yeah, it is quintessential Spice Girls, but I just think that it really genuinely works so, so well because it is such a perfectly crafted pop song. Even though I had it at number 2 in It's Gone Down, I still love it so much. Number 4 is Love Thing. I also just switched where this is. This was originally at number 3, but it went down a little bit because I like the other songs that I've been switching around. Like, this is so off the cuff. I literally have my list in front of me and I've just been rearranging it, but whatever, it's fine. When I was talking earlier about another song that had a hook that I could not get out of my head, this was the one that I meant. Literally, like, I know I said something kind of funny I always had stuck in my head. I can't even begin to describe to you how this one was around like 2 times more in my head. I could not get this song to leave my body. Like, it literally was a demon that took over my entire life. I could not for the life of me stop singing There's No Room for Lovin', Stop That Pushin' Shovin', yeah, don't want to know about that love thing. It just goes off a little bit too much for me. It's a little too much. The chorus is crack. This is a cocaine chorus. That is what this song is. And it's not just the chorus either. Like, I think the verses are also really catchy. Like, that and the pre-chorus. This song has such a good pre-chorus. I love the little switch off that they're doing. I don't know who's doing the switch off in the pre-chorus, but where they're going like, you gotta want me, just what I need, I'm not that easy, as a matter of fact. Oh my god, it's so good. This is such a good song to sing when you kind of want to feel a little badass. Like, it's a very empowering song. Like, they're saying, don't want to know about that love thing. Like, I want nothing to do with you. You are wasting my time. You are not the only one that I've got on my mind. It's just a really good song to sing when you want to feel like you're more important than the person who's hitting on you. Basically, like, that is how the song has served me in my life. Also, the bridge, this is like one of my favorite Spice Girls bridges. I think it's scary at the end where she's going like on and on with the girl's named Spice, you want to get with us, then you better think twice. And then like the God help the mister that comes between me and my sisters. Oh my god, it's so like quotable. It's so much fun. Like, there's such a playfulness to this song that I just absolutely adore. Love Thing is so infectious. Like, when I tell you, it is a guarantee that I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and I'm not gonna be able to actually fall asleep because I'm just gonna be restlessly tossing and turning, hearing the song in my head. That is how it's gonna go down. Like, simply looking at the title of this song, like, triggers me because I know that I'm not gonna be able to stop singing it. So, Love Thing is just an absolute earworm. You have to listen to it. If you haven't listened to Love Thing in a while, please, I am begging you, reintroduce this into your life. This is such a great pick-me-up song. Number 3 is If You Can't Dance. If You Can't Dance is one of the... Actually, no, it's the weirdest song. I was gonna say one of the weirdest songs. I think it is the weirdest song on, like, the standard track listing, at least. This song is so incredibly well done. I think there's so many different, seemingly discordant parts that are in this song, but when it all comes together, it just all makes sense. Listening to it, it just all really does mesh very well. I love how there's kind of like rap verses from Scary. You have the entire Spanish section by Ginger, which at one point I was able to recite. I'm not sure if I could do it now. I probably could. I literally like memorized the entire part just naturally from listening to the song so much. But then you also have that like chorus that just stops you right in your tracks. Like, the song begins and it's just, if you can't dance, if you can't dance. Like, it's so intense and campy and it's so much fun to sing along with. But it's like all these zany little decisions that they made and these parts of the song that don't seem like they would work with each other. They really do just come together to make this really unique, like, experimental. I don't know if I want to say experimental, but like it's just a very interesting track. Again, it is a very like British sounding track, and I love that about it. It's so unique to the Spice Girls. Like really no other group could sing this song, and I love that about it. I love the subject matter of this song. It's so classic for a song to be like, this person can't dance, so I just cannot be with them. Like, that is so funny to me. Like, has that ever happened in real life? Has anyone ever looked at someone and they're like dancing poorly and they're just like, well, they're hot, but I can't be with them? Like, that is just so funny to me. It's like, Scary's verse specifically is like hilarious. She's like, we're rocking and vibing, but somebody's jiving. You need to take a tip, sort it out, get a grip. Like, that is so funny. Like, she is just trashing this man because his moves are outdated. He does not know how to work it. Or my favorite line where she's like, whenever I go out, wherever it may be, never is there a Keanu, but a dweeb looking at me. Like, she called this man a dweeb. Like, we have all been there too, where we like go out and there's plenty of hot people abound, but there's the one person who you just have no interest in, and that's the one that's looking at you like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, that is the dweeb looking at you. Who has not been there? Very relatable in that aspect. And then I love the line that's right after where she's like, but then even if I did score, he's a loser on the dance floor. She really said, even if this man has good dick, I don't care, he can't dance. Like, that is so funny to me. It is just such a campy kind of song. And again, it's very, very specific to the Spice Girls. Like, this is a very Spice Girls sentiment where they're just in this like fantasy world where it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're rich or whatever. All that it comes down to is, can you dance? If you can't dance, you cannot do anything for me. Like they say in the pre-chorus, even when his eyes met mine, his slamming moves were out of time. Just, like, I love how they're just dragging this guy who can't dance. Like, look, some people just can't dance. I can't dance. I mean, that's just how it is. So, I guess us people that can't do the choreography that they're apparently requiring, we're just out of luck. We have no chance with the Spice Girls. It's a sad life that we have to live, I guess, but that's just how it is. I love If You Can't Dance so much. Like, this one I always listen to on the bus in the morning specifically. This is a very morning song. I can only listen to the song if it's the early morning, like I'm talking morning dew kind of time, or if it's literally pitch black out and it's nighttime. Those are the only two times I feel like I can listen to this song. For some reason, I can't listen to this in the evening. It just doesn't work. Like, this is a waking up song or this is a nighttime going out song. But either way, it just works. If You Can't Dance is such a joy. If you haven't heard it in a while, like, listen to it again. It's like wild and I love it. Number 2 is a weird one. It's Take Me Home. This was a B-side for Say You'll Be There. And this is my favorite B-side. Take Me Home is such a unique song among the Spice Girls discography. This is a Halloween bop. To me, this is a very spooky, atmospheric, dreadful Halloween kind of song. And if you listen to it, you understand what I mean. Because there's just this atmosphere that's in it that it just sounds like the crisp fall air. That's what it is. It feels like the wind is blowing on you and you have a sweater on and like a scarf and you smell apple cider and hay and you look and there's like a scarecrow. Like, that is the atmosphere that the song builds. And I'm not sure if it's like actually intentional because the lyrics themselves aren't necessarily like scary. Maybe they are. I don't really know. I never understood what the song was actually about. It just sounds creepy. Like, there's just like this weird like undertone to it, especially in the way that they're harmonizing, the way that they're singing some of the lines like, and can you keep me warm and step into your comfort zone or take me home. There's no place I would rather be now. Like, it's not like the lines themselves are necessarily creepy, it's just the way that they sing them. If you listen to the song, like, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's just a very, like, weirdly dark, unsettling song, and I love that so much. I love everything horror and spooky. Like, I am such a horror movie lover, and October is my favorite month, and this is an October song for me. This song and Love for All Seasons by Christina Aguilera, those are two like fall staples for me because they just sound like the season, and the fall is my favorite season. And Take Me Home just reminds me of the fall, and that's why I love it so much. Like, if you hear it, like, I feel like you just picture it. Like, I just picture like leaves on like the concrete, and like you hear like that little tapping, and you just have like that scent of like the crisp fall air. That's what Take Me Home gives me. I'm not even really talking about the song right now. Like, I'm just talking about like the visuals that I'm getting, because that is the sentiment that I receive from this song. I think the fact that it's also a rare song just adds to the mystique of it. Like, this was a B-side, and I'm assuming not that many people know about it. I'm sure Spice Girls fans know about it, but I just don't know how many people would have the CD single to Say You'll Be There. And maybe it was a bonus track in some territories, I'm not really sure, but I think that it's a crying shame that this was not included as like a standard bonus track. The weird thing is, I don't really even see this on the standard edition of the album. I don't think this song really fits in necessarily among the other ones. It's not like it sounds so different, but it just, I don't know, has like this weird like spooky undertone that is the reason that I love it, but I don't know if it necessarily meshes with everything else that they were doing. But I love the song for that reason, because it is so different. I think it's produced beautifully. I think their harmonies are some of the best that they've like literally ever had. Like, the quality of this B-side, I'm telling you, it's like stupefying. Like, it literally is like, why is the song so good? Like, this is just a very well made, well crafted song. And like I said, I just think the creep factor of it all makes it that much more memorable, and it just makes it stick in your mind even more. I always listen to this song a lot during the fall time because it just has that vibe to me. And when I tell you, if a song reminds me of the fall through Christmas time, it's an automatic love. Like, I automatically like it more than 90% of songs, because if it can evoke that feeling to me, then it's just magic. Like, this song to me is just magic. For how creepy it is just a very magical song. It needs to be used in a horror movie. I feel like the song could be very effectively used in a movie. Someone's got to get on that. Some studio needs to get on that. A24, use this in one of your creepy movies. I need it. So that is my number 2. Very strange number 2. I really recommend looking it up though. Like, if you haven't heard it ever, then I would really urge you to listen to it. It's like such a unique song. Like I said, it is very unexpected from the Spice Girls, but it's absolutely incredible. Number 1 is Who Do You Think You Are? Who Do You Think You Are is my favorite Spice Girls song. This song is just groovy and disco and fun and everything that I love about them. This is camp, this is diva, this is horns blaring, you are on a disco ball, the race is on to get out from the bottom. Like, this song is so infectiously fun, and every time that I hear it, if they play it at a club, they played this at a club like one time, and I just remember like staring at the video screen like entranced, and I got so serious. I needed people to back away from me, because you cannot play this song and expect me to not act like a damn fool, because this one just goes off way too much. I think everything that's great about the Spice Girls is just exemplified in this song. Like I said, it's just that campy, disco, dancey, throwback kind of sound, but made modern, or modern to the time that they made this. And it gives it a timelessness. I really genuinely believe Who Do You Think You Are is very timeless. It doesn't sound like a product of the 90s. It sounds like it really did come from a disco wave. Like, it sounds like it could have been from the 70s, but it also works as a modern song because it just has that groove to it, and it's like so funky and just so easy to dance to. I just love every single minute of it. I also love like what it's about. I love a good "so you think that you could be famous" song, essentially, because that's what it is. Like they're saying, the race is on to get out of the bottom. The top is high, so your roots are forgotten. I love that line so much. And them just saying like, "who do you think you are? Some kind of superstar?" Like, not only is that part so catchy, like that pre-chorus, but I just love like the idea of them challenging you. That's what the song has always come across to me as. It's them saying like, do you think that you could do this? Do you think that you could do what we do? And I love that. I love how it's essentially them telling you what it's gonna take to make it. And I love how all it takes to make it is swinging it, shaking it, moving it, making it. Like, it's so campy. It's just literally so much fun. I just don't understand how you can listen to the song and not be inspired. Like, how can you listen to this and not just like move a little bit? Like, how can you at least not like lightly bop along to it? I mean, when I hear the song, I'm telling you, I become dangerous. Like, you need to back off from me because I get a little vicious. It is just seriously the song in their discography that goes off the most. I seriously think like when the chorus hits in this song, it's just so like ridiculously fun. It's so much, it feels like I'm on a roller coaster. It feels like I'm in Disney World. Like, it gives me that same amount of joy. And then I love the bridge where it slows down for a second and it's like, you've got to reach on up but never lose your soul. Like, that part is so much fun because it works as like a cute little breather, and then you just get right back into that infectiously catchy chorus. And oh my god, I just can go on and on about "Who Do You Think You Are" all day. This is pop perfection. It is pop perfection. This is the serotonin booster of this album. This whole album is a serotonin booster, but like this song specifically, if I'm in a bad mood, this is like vitamin D. Like, this literally just delivers the happiness that I need. "Who Do You Think You Are" is a masterpiece. This is genuinely one of the best singles to be released in the 90s. I will die on that hill. Not that I like know all of 90s music or anything. I'm just saying, in terms of like pop singles, this is one of the best ones. I will gladly die on that hill. So that is my ranking of Spice. I am so in love with this album. As you could tell, I'm like kind of unhinged about it. I think that this one and Spice World are essentially tied as my favorite. I'm saying that as if they have more than like 3 albums. Like, Forever I like as well, but Spice and Spice World are definitely my 2 favorites. I tend to lean more towards Spice just because it has "Who Do You Think You Are" in it. Basically, that's kind of what it boils down to. But I think that overall it's a little bit stronger than Spice World, but they're both really good. And Forever is good too. I'll get to that album one day. I do love that album as well. But that is my ranking of Spice. Let me know what your guys' favorites from this album are, and I will see you next time.